3, 2, what the hell, not 1. All right, let's see what happens here when YouTube decides to catch up. And once they catch up, we'll go live. I can never figure that out. Hey, looks like we are live. So what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another yet fun, silly, entertaining, interesting, fantastic. Somebody throw some adjectives out there. Phenomenal Spectator Mode Podcast. This is episode number 92. I'm your host, Keith Mitchell, and I'm joined with my cohorts, my buddies, my compadres, my troublemakers. We got Carl, May Smart from Australia. He's not upside down anymore. We got Cam. What's up, Cam?
Hello.
And we got my man Matthew. Matthew, get silly as Paul. What's going on, bro?
Doing good, man.
All right.
Great.
So there's been a lot of stuff happening in the gaming space the last couple of days. So we want to talk about those. We are going to touch on the PlayStation finally officially announcing that they are cutting off the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation Vita, and the PlayStation Portable, which is kind of a little bit of frustration for a lot of us because there's a problem with preserving. He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Preserving games that people won't have access to anymore. I'm definitely going to talk about Outriders and the rough start it's had so far and my thoughts on the game because it is a decent game despite the rough start. E3 has announced that it will be a free digital event, which is interesting because E3 is not a free event, but it is digital this year because of COVID-19. And I'm pretty sure somebody will pull another topic out of the butt by the time we're done. You know how we do. We never stay on track here at Spectator Mode Podcast, but that's what makes us great. So, for those who are new to the show, beginning of the show, we already talked about the games we played this past week. Since I've been playing Outriders, I'm not going to go because I'll be here for a while. So, Cam, you go, man. What you got?
Been playing mostly Monster Hunter Rise. Having a very good time with that. I reviewed that, gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, I love it. Been playing with a few friends, and and it's great. I mean, honestly, it's probably my favorite Monster Hunter game, and I'd say this as someone who loved World. So, putting a lot of time into that one. Last time I was on here, I also said I was playing through the Arkham games again. I finished Asylum, currently working on City as well, so kind of bouncing between that and Rise. And yeah, Arkham City's still fucking good, still very good. So that's basically what I've been working on lately.
You drew some comparison with Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter World. What would you tell people who are on the fence about playing Rise but loved World?
I mean, Rise definitely has all of the things that you liked from World, but I feel like the pacing is significantly better. If you're even a new player, it definitely feels way more accessible because like all of those games can often feel very daunting if you're a new person, if you're just jumping in. If they throw a lot of information at you like very quickly, but not to say that Rise doesn't have a lot going on, but it sort of deals it out at a more reasonable pace than World and especially the ones before that. But yeah, like definitely like if you loved World, like you'll definitely love Rise as well because it's like I feel like it's just like natural evolution of where that franchise could be going, and yeah, it's great. I'd highly recommend it.
I will definitely say I have enjoyed my time with the game as well. Again, I'll also be honest, I'm not really a fan of how it looks, but it runs very well. It's very playable. Before Outriders came out, that was a game I was playing for a while. It is a very enjoyable game. If you're on the fence of it, I definitely would say definitely check it out, or maybe wait for the PC version if you're worried about playing on Switch and then worried about cross progression because as of right now, Capcom has said nothing about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that either.
And that's kind of a problem because I already have enough hours on the Switch version, and I plan on going to the PC version, which means I got to start over from the beginning.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh well. Matt, what you got, buddy?
So I've been doing a lot this week. I started playing Phantasy Star 2. It's my favorite MMO right now. It's really fun for me. Playing a lot of Loop Hero. I just streamed this week my first blind playthrough of Dandy Ace. I thought it was pretty fun. Lively playing it through. It's a good game. I have been low-key been practicing some King of Fighters. I've been playing 98 UMO2. I have not played Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, so I'm going to the PC version, which I'm a Monster Hunter fan. Looking forward to when I get a chance to touch it. And I think that's... I haven't played anything else? No, that's about it. I only played those 4 or 5 games. Oh, I've also recently had a chance to try to play what you call not Bloodroots.
You play so many games, man.
I play so many games, yeah, because I'm working all the time. Oh, obviously, I've been playing Slay the Spire because somebody put a challenge out there. Can you slay a speed run in the the community? Can you slay the heart 4 times consecutively with each character and put that in and win like some prize? So I have not been successful so far because like once and I would die a second time. So yeah.
All right, Carl, what you been up to, buddy? Have you
I've
played
been up
anything?
to a few. I have actually. As per usual, just trying to stay away from that horrible game that I was addicted to. But now that
Cyberpunk?
I'm not addicted to it.
Yes.
No, not that one. No, God no. I haven't even tried playing that piece of shit yet.
For the best.
Have you seen what I'm wearing right now?
Yes,
Look at what
I know.
I'm wearing.
Yeah, she
Because
looks like
it's
a
some
great
good shit.
billboard for sitting.
There's some good stuff. These are some good clothes. I will say that. The game itself,
Yeah,
no. But the clothes are good.
I have the same T-shirt, so I know that they're good quality stuff. Oh God, here we go. Anything else you'd like to plug? Anything?
I went to Walgreens today and saw this. I was like, I need this.
Oh, wow.
I need this.
That's awesome.
I didn't even know they had this.
That's amazing.
This is awesome.
Not douche though, not the dog girl, but you got Doom. Okay.
I saw it and I was like, wow, they had this? They made this version of it? I'm getting this. My wife looked at me like, what is that? Like, you don't need to know about it. Just go with it. But I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm done.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You haven't got anything else you want to plug in? You sure? You good? You good?
No, I'm good. I got nothing. I'm good.
All right. Yeah, so I believe I'm now sitting at 4 weeks free of World of Warcraft. So almost hitting the month mark. Damn these 5 month.
Delete
5 week
the characters. Delete the characters.
Delete
Do
them
it when
all.
I haven't installed the game, dickhead.
Can't you delete it from Battle.net?
No,
Ooh,
Oh.
no.
I'd have to re-download all 60 odd.
No,
gig
don't
of
do
it
that. You're
and
good.
then
You're good.
delete
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So-
don't do that.
Don't worry, I'll take on its own. They'll like yeah.
Yeah, they'll eventually take your character's name and all that fun stuff, and then you'll be even more upset.
I don't care. Don't look like going back to it. But as for what I've actually been playing this week, I did actually dive back into like a lot of the older video games, as I love to do. I actually played all the way through the original Mario Brothers on NES.
Wow.
Running from World 1-1 all the way through to 8-4. No skips, no tricks, no nothing.
That's some good gaming right there. That's an idea.
Just a straight old school playthrough. I did play a little bit of Super Mario 3D All Stars, probably degrading my $65,000 copy of the game now.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I also played a little bit of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe because
Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry.
Get myself in the mood for the movie. It's coming slowly if they don't delay it again. I also jumped back into the old WWE games, playing WWE 12 for the WCW story mode that they had in that game, which I found quite enjoyable. Then I sort of jumped up to WWE 2K16, playing through the Stone Cold Steve Austin history, because why not? You've got to give people stunners everywhere. And then I moved on to the story mode of WWE 2K19. And I'm currently playing through that at the moment, because I never played through the last 2 story modes in the last 2 games. So I'm like, fuck it. I got time. Why not do it now? And yeah, that's pretty much it, because it's been Easter weekend over here, so everything's shut, so I can't even go looking for new games. God damn it!
Can I be honest? My wife and I were talking about this the other day, and I was like, "When's Easter?" And she's like, "It's next week, isn't it?" Like, is it? I don't know. And then she was like, "Wait, isn't Friday Good Friday?" I was like, "Yeah, it is." Like, shit, Easter is this Sunday.
Yep.
We forgot about it. I
Yeah.
mean, as we get older there, and we just forget about the stuff, because Easter's not about us. It's about the kids. And my daughter is 19, going on 20, and Let's be honest. Keith doesn't give a shit if it's not a game or electronic. He doesn't care what it is.
Sounds like my little brother.
So it's like Easter has no point in this house anymore.
You could have got Keith playing Animal Crossing. They have Easter egg hunts and that for like 4 months.
I bought Animal Crossing because it was for me, and then I never played it because they took it and then they got bored of it, and I have no idea where it is. Which game's so small they get lost everywhere.
Mine's probably being sold off to somebody else when I traded it into EB Games the other month.
I feel bad you got to do that. But continue on.
Look, to be honest, I didn't really need to bother with it. But, oh my God, what else have I played? I've actually been playing a lot more games now that I'm not spending like 9-10 hours a day playing World of Warcraft.
Oh, wow. See how that works? See how that works?
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden I have this freedom and all this time.
Like a trade-off, honestly.
Sounds like a good way to go, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. I did start playing. God, what was it? It's one of the Spider-Man games on PS3. I think it was Web of Shadows, just for shits and giggles.
Get me pictures of
But
Spider-Man.
it's like, no, you're not J.K. Simmons playing JJ.
Give me pictures.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like I'm playing a lot more games now because I'm not spending 10+ hours a day playing goddamn World of Warcraft. Thank God. I'm actually starting to realize like how much of a mistake it was putting so much time, effort, and money into that piece of shit game. I regret like the amount of money I put into that game over the years through subscriptions and buying the games and everything else. I could have funded my wedding twice over by now.
You got to keep in mind, man, when you play a game like WoW, you don't go into it thinking that this game is going to consume your entire life. That's not the thought process. So you can't blame yourself. It just happened, and we fall into this trap of the game isn't fun anymore. The game isn't a game anymore, but you feel compelled to play it because you're paying for it, and then you forget to cancel it because you're like, I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah,
so you fall into that trap.
I haven't gone and done the math, but I could just a baseline in my head. Like I probably spent nearly, I'd say easily $4,000 to $5,000 on this over the nearly 10 years I was playing.
You are not the only person.
Subscriptions, in-game items that I bought off the store, like tokens, all that shit. Like I could have easily have spent $5,000 over on this, and it's like, nah, that's probably why I spent so long playing it, was because it was like I'd made such a huge financial investment that I feel like if I stopped, I was wasting all that previous money, which I now feel like I do. But I'm now realizing I'm stepping away, and I'm going back and playing games that I love, and I actually have a chance to do other things. Like, believe it or not, up until this past week, I had never actually played Super Mario Brothers from end to end.
Wow. Okay.
When I was a kid, I didn't have the dexterity needed to do some of the precise jumps in the later levels, so I never really bothered. And now going back with my experience and knowing the systems like I do, I got to play it all the way through, and I actually enjoyed it. So now I'm working on Super Mario Brothers 2, or Doki Doki Panic, whatever you want to call it. And I'll work my way up through 3 and World, and go back and actually play all the way through them, because I never really did a lot of the old school stuff when it was that time. So this is me playing catch up on years of childhood, combined with the fact that I have the time now because I'm not playing that piece of shit garbage. But yeah, so that's what I've been playing this week. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. I probably rival Matt and Ned the amount of games played this week.
Did he, Matt? Did he rival you?
Let me see. I got 2 fighting games, 1 free-to-play MMO, 2 roguelike games, and a phone game, but I'm not counting phone games.
I was going to say, you played a phone game?
I mean, Hearthstone, but it's Hearthstone. It's just, the new expansion, so let's go hit numbers.
No, don't do that. Don't play that piece of shit. That's just as bad as playing WoW. Do not give Activision...
I haven't bought a new expansion.
Don't even give them your time. Don't even give them your time, man. It's not worth it. No.
It sounds like
because
Carl's trying to save you, man.
because all you're given is that guy from Trump's little thing that joined their board of directors with money.
Oh yeah, that piece of shit.
Oh,
yeah. I totally forgot about that. You're right. Yeah, that POS. Anyway, yeah. You know what? I'm probably gonna do. You know what? Yeah, I haven't bought any expansions in this. I've just been using my gold that I stocked up on. I could just stop playing it. I got other card games I could play. Slay Spire. Yeah, let's play Slay Spire.
Fair enough.
You could go and play Magic Arena.
I'm not a fan of Magic Arena. It has a lot of client issues and the game is not updated. But I get the message.
Hey, look, you could always go play Pokemon trading card game online.
I can always be the best I want to be. That's always the way to go. But all seriousness, yeah, I actually totally forgot about that. I totally forgot that they hired a effing monster recently. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's I don't want to talk about it. How about that?
Let's put it this way. Let's just put it this way. Activision, who is now in control of Blizzard, I don't even consider Blizzard a part of the company anymore. They've been absorbed by the monster. They're just there in name only. They are making so many decisions right now that are so anti-consumer and just downright stupid in the people that they're hiring to put into these positions that I really don't even want to touch anything this company brings out from now on.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. That's exactly how I feel.
Not only did they hire this idiot from Trump's little campaign squad or whatever it was, but I have been keeping up to date with the World of Warcraft news and what's going on. They've now turned around and they've always had a tier system if you wanted to buy game time. You could buy 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, with 3 and 6 getting big discounts. They've just wiped all that off. You got a single 60-day time, and it's just basically what you pay for 2 months anyway. I think it's like $30 US. And so many people have gone, well, what happened if I just want to play for a month or something else? Okay, chefs, nice. But it's just one of those things of like they're now pushing such stupid ideas and such stupid like business practices out there. I'm surprised that the arrogance of Activision right now to turn around and go, hey, we just fired. What was the last round of layoffs? Like 600, 800 people.
I don't remember the exact, but it was a lot of people. Put it that way.
That's control. They fired the. They fired half of the esports team. So yeah, half the esports department's gone.
So they got rid of all that and then decided to give the CEO like this gigantic friggin' bonus for end of year.
Bobby K is a freaking cancer of the
Bobby
game.
Cottage, yeah,
and it's always been a freaking cancer.
Yeah, and now that
that's like. Should I go? Okay, no. I was gonna say leading into the layoffs, they like right before they were like, "Hey, we made all this profit. We're doing great," and then
we're doing great.
Yeah, immediately just went into the layoffs, and which is just a really shitty look all around. Just not good. It's bad.
They don't care. No, I refuse to
all.
buy anything from this company ever again. I'm done, and that hurts because Activision was the publisher for Sekiro, which is one of my favorite games, and it's like they could get more deals like that, and I have to stick to my guns and go, I'm not buying anything from them anymore. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they're a big publisher over in the States. I think they go through third-party companies here, so we might be able to still get you Sekiro without actually contributing to Activision's bottom line.
Hopefully, no.
We'll find a way for you, Keith. But like this type of stuff that they've been doing has just been absolutely terrible,
horrendous.
And I don't see how anybody can actually support this company anymore.
Call of Duty, baby. Call of Duty and World of Warcraft.
It's Call of Duty and just turning your mind off. Like, it's, for example, like the hack and slash community, ARPG community, they really do love Diablo. So it's like, unless this Diablo 4 tanks like Diablo 3 in the first couple of days, then yeah, it's over for them. All they have now is Overwatch, Diablo, WoW. Hearthstone has issues because I play card games.
Don't forget, we also own the mobile gaming company King, which sells
yeah,
candy,
yeah.
stuff like that, which pulls in just about as much revenue as Overwatch, the Blizzard division, which was Overwatch and World of Warcraft and everything else. But still, like, this is a terrible thing, and I really hope anybody watching this or listening to this later, rethink your choices. Like, this is how we end up with, companies who get so arrogant that they believe that they can get away with anything that is pretty much anti-consumer, and that they can turn around, raise prices, put 10,000 microtransactions in a game, do friggin' loot boxes everywhere. This is how you end up with, like, the original version of EA Battlefront, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 by EA, which was an absolute mess, because people put so much faith in the companies, and when the companies start doing wrong, they go, oh, well, there's something else on there that I'll play and I like and everything else. No, please, vote with your goddamn wallets when you see shit like this happening, and stop buying the games. Stop paying the subscriptions.
Well, here's the problem with that, Carl. We say that, but then the companies like this go and do something. Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster, like Crash Bandicoot 4. Like, god damn it. Like, they do horrible things, and they come out and do something right, and it's like, well, darn it. Now I'm screwed here. Now I actually have to go, because I want to play these games. But you got to pay the overlords that you don't want to pay the money for the games. And they know this.
You have the hard stance that I do.
Say again?
You have the hard stance like I do. I actively don't give my money to Nintendo at all ever again through their business practices. I will never buy Nintendo. I've been at it for the last decade and a half of my life. And I had the same thing with Epic Games. I'm not going to buy anything at Epic Games. I've been doing that since their existence. You just got to have a hard stance. That's what I stand on. Like, I can't.
Yeah, like, but you don't also review games.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait. Do I? I'll do. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
It's going to be fun when I go back and tell all the PR people that don't ask us about Activision stuff. I'm not doing it.
Oh yeah. No, you can just do it. Just badmouth it, like, or sorry. Some people might say it's badmouth. Have an opinion.
Well, you can't badmouth the game when you have a issue with the actual company, because it's not right to the game. It's not right to the people who do your reviews.
There's that one guy who does it, but he's blacklisted everywhere. The Jim Sterling guy, he does that, but he's blacklisted.
Yeah,
people love him,
and that's why he's blacklisted everywhere. Like, we can still review Activision stuff or Blizzard stuff or anything like that, but we are not actively going out of our way to buy it for things like reviews and just generalized playthroughs like we have been doing. That's the stance.
Yeah, I was.
I
was already.
You want to send us something? You want to send us something for free? We'll still review it, and we will be impartial because that's our jobs. But we are not going out of the way to give you money. As Cam sits there and just nods, and it's like, "Yep, I got that to contribute."
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head for me, honestly. So.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to talk about the games that I've been playing, because we skipped over that, and that'll segue into everything else. And to be honest, it's been a lot of Monster Hunter Rise. Cam has already spoke on that. I echo everything that he said so far. It's a great game. More people need to start using the bow. Stop crying and saying it's weak. It's not weak. They did change a lot of stuff with the bow, but it's still fun. I really enjoy it. I will be double dipping when it comes out for the PC later on this year. I really hope they have a way to change to carry over my progression, because it's going to suck to have to do it again. It did the same thing with the PlayStation, the PC version.
That's because you need those sweet PC frames. You need that frames rate. Hey, you've already complained off air to me that it's 30 frames and you don't like it.
No, it's not 30 frames. It's 60 frames. It just, when you play it in dock, it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't. Keith's not getting his resolution and his frame rates that he likes, so he needs the PC version. But there's no issue with the game. The game itself is great. It's very functional. I have no problems with the game. Well, I have some problems with the online, but
that could be a bit wonky.
Other than that, But what I have been playing a lot of is Outriders. You guys have heard me talk about it since the demo. I had like 50 hours in the demo. The game came out. We were sent a copy. Thanks to Square Enix, people can fly for that. And I've been playing the game ever since I got access to it, or trying to play the game ever since I got access to it. So the game itself is enjoyable. It reminds me a lot of Gears of War and, surprisingly enough, Lost Planet, Matt. think that's something you might like. Just because
Lost
of
Market.
a lot of the encounters are very Lost Planet like. The boss fights. I got a couple videos up on our channel right now. I got a couple more encoding. The boss fights, when you fight non-humanoid bosses, are massive. There's one that I know Carl won't be able to play because it's a giant spider. And I saw that, I was like, he can't play this game.
No, it depends. Like, there's a big difference between, like, I can go through Resident Evil where they have gigantic spiders coming in through the sewer systems, or hell, World of Warcraft was filled with spider characters.
Well, if you can do that, you can play that.
Then I could probably take this out. I think where my fear of spiders really kicks in was VR games. Playing Skyrim in VR almost caused me to throw the headset across the room. So, yeah.
Okay, you'll be fine. But you got that. There's another one. It's this huge, and I apologize if it's spoilers for people who haven't got that far. This huge monster that's hiding behind a mountain, throwing stuff at you and attacking with his hands, his fists. Eventually coming out and scrolling around the screen and fighting around you. It's fun. When I was playing it, I was like, damn, this does remind me of Lost Planet a lot. Also reminds me of Remnant from the Ashes. Again, the gameplay is great. The gunplay is great. I love the fact that they have a crafting system that lets you modify existing weapons, and there's a whole slew of different mods you can do. They all work in synchronous with your builds, or you can make a completely off-the-wall build, like giving your weapons ability to keep people bleed or freeze them while they're in being shot, getting health back as you do something, increasing your crit. There's so many different things you can do. It's amazing. You can obviously upgrade weapons, upgrade gear. They got some amazing looking armor sets. It's fun.
Why haven't we been trying to get this together on like something that we all own, say like Xbox Game Pass?
Well, you totally can play it on Xbox Game Pass. I guess we can hype Game Pass because it's free on Game Pass. I mean, if you have Game Pass, you can play it, and it does have cross-play, so you can play with me as I play on a PC version. So we have.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
If you can play it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's that. So our review of the game is not up. It won't be up for another couple of days, maybe a week, just because the game has not been very stable. This is why I have not been telling you guys to jump on right now. The game, while I think is amazing, has had a very rough start. Servers are constantly going offline on all fronts. PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all of them have been going offline, coming online, going offline, coming online, going offline, coming online, people progressing, going offline in the middle of boss fights and making people go back and do things again. It happened to me today after I got out of bed from getting my COVID-19 second shot. Guys, that stuff will kick your ass. If you're getting your COVID shots, plan on doing nothing for the rest of the day.
I haven't even got my first yet. Ours has been absolutely fucked
my
up.
First shot was fine. The second shot I got, I was like, oh, I'm fine. And as I'm sitting down playing a game, I'm like, oh shit, my arm is hurting. Why is my arm on fire now? And my head.
You haven't got blood clots, have you?
No,
that's been the big problem.
No, I was scared. I was going into this scared because I as you guys know, I have a tinnitus or tinnitus, and there was a lot of talk saying that this could aggravate your tinnitus. Now, real quick, my tinnitus isn't based on blasting my ears with music. My tinnitus is offset apparently from what I'm finding out now. My C1 and C2 vertebrae are misaligned, which means it's causing what they call TMJ issues, where I can actually modulate the sound of my right ear by moving my jaw a certain way or yawning a certain way or turning my neck a certain way. So going to a chiropractor for that, who said they may be able to help me lower the intensity of the tinnitus, which would be awesome, or help me remove it completely. But people who have sensory tinnitus, that can affect them. Some people have said their tinnitus has gone up. Some people have said it hasn't affected them. And obviously, I went down a rabbit hole a couple of times. So I was scared about getting my shot. But yeah, other than just getting sick and losing my appetite and having a fever and having my arm feel like it's falling off, I'm fine. So yeah.
But going back to Outriders, I will say this, especially to people who have been a bit like complacent while complaining about it online. Please don't do that to these people. Like, they're doing their best. They probably weren't expecting it to be as big of a hit as it is, which is why we are getting so many issues with the servers and everything else. That's usually the main reason why, is that they weren't expecting such a server load.
Yeah, they weren't. They were
not.
Don't
stop going online and bitching at these people saying that the game sucks because they can't get a server up or something like that.
Yeah, I've already seen a lot of people review bombing already. It's not fair.
Especially, well, I'm not even talking about review bombing or anything like that. I actually, because we're all on Twitter and everything because of what we do. One of the guys, Nell, he's a marketing manager.
Yeah,
for this
I know.
game. He has been copying so much personal attacks and shit about what's going on with Outriders, and he has nothing to do with it. He's just the guy who's marketing the goddamn thing. You know, he's not in control of servers, he's not in control of development or anything else. Yet he is getting blasted daily to the point where this man is reduced to friggin' tears.
He's already
on a daily basis.
He's had a rough time for a while now, even before this. So he's not enjoying Twitter whatsoever. And
so
it's garbage.
Don't go online finding these people that have nothing to do with development, nothing to do with servers or anything else, and blasting them. They're not the people that. They're not. Don't even go on to the official Outriders thing and go, "Oh, your game sucks because I can't get a server."
Too late. People have already been doing that.
Yeah.
I know people have been doing it, but seriously, stop doing this because there's actual people behind this shit. And I for one, I'm sick of seeing this type of attitude. This entitled fucking bullshit.
Easy now, lose our rating there, buddy. Too late. Go ahead. Say your thing. No, say what you're gonna say though. Say it. Don't say it.
I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm sick of seeing people going out there and bitching and complaining at all sorts of people who from marketing, PR, who have nothing to do with this, and it's getting personal on them because of a fucking video game. Sorry,
Unfortunately, we both know that this is how it goes, and I'm not saying it's the right thing.
I know it's how it goes, but people need to smarten the fuck up. Grow some intelligence, some fucking morals, some empathy for your fellow human being. Fucking just realize, would you like this shit to happen to you for your fucking job? No. So don't go online and do this shit because you're sitting behind a fucking computer screen. Keyboard cowboy cunts.
Wow, he's upset.
Sorry, I've had enough of this shit. Especially when it's a really nice, especially when it's nice people that I've got to know through this industry. I've got to know Nell. I have fucking a good laugh with him every now and again, as Keith does as well. And to see this man almost go to the point where he looks like he's fucking suicidal because fucking 2-year-old little mini brains on the fucking internet hiding behind a keyboard are yelling at him because they can't play their game because they don't realize the idea of server capacity is a fucking thing. And they attack somebody on a personal level because of it. No, stop it.
Now,
have some fucking brains in your head, for fuck's sake.
I will say I am one of the people that are frustrated. Obviously, I haven't been yelling at them. I've been talking to them. But I do have a problem with the implementation of Outriders. The fact that this game is not considered a games as a service, but we have to authenticate online to actually play the game, even the single player portion. I really hope that they rethink that decision. I know why they did that.
Isn't that part of their cheat system?
Yeah, the cheat.
Yeah.
You can still get around the cheat system. They know this. That's why they made their plans public on how they're going to show people, make an example of people who cheat. But this is DRM. This is basically a way to stop people from pirating the game and nothing more. And I understand that, and I applaud that. I'm glad to see that you're doing something other than using de novo. But the problem is here. When your servers are not reachable, even the single player portion of the game is not playable. That's a problem. So when your servers are offline, people can't play the game locally. That's causing a huge issue. I hope they rethink that decision, but that also makes me wonder about the future of the game. What happens when they decide to go, oh, well, we're done supporting this game. The authentication servers are gone. And we've seen games do this where they take the servers offline and the game is no longer playable. I'm not saying that this is going to happen with this game, but there's a big possibility. And I really want the developer to think about that for a second, because that does affect people. I can't play the game online. Okay, that's great. I can't play the game at all, even the single player portion. We got to talk now. There's a problem with that system. That needs to change. This whole always online game needs to change. Crash Bandicoot for the PC. Crash Bandicoot 4 for the PC is always online. What is the reason for that other than piracy? Oh, by the way, the game's already cracked. So who's being hurt right now? The legit people who own the game. Not the people who got the cracked version.
See, that's the thing. That's something completely different to what I'm talking about. Like, that's a legitimate complaint. And that is something that most definitely should be addressed.
Oh, did you think I wasn't going to come with legit stuff? I don't
I thought you might have echoed the fucking little brains out there going, yeah, I can't play online. I need to play my game now.
Why would I do that? I've literally never done that. I understand how these work. I understand how servers work. Yes, I'm frustrated about not being able to play my game. But at the end of the day, it's a freaking game. I got other shit I can do. I can clean his office. I could go talk to the wife. I can go read a book. I can go listen to some music. I can finish working on stuff that I can't talk about. I got plenty of stuff to do when I can't play a game. But I do wish I could play the game offline at the very least. I hope they address that. And again, going back to what I said about Outriders, I think it's a phenomenal game. I think it's a very fun game. Excuse me. Only reason I haven't said let's get together to play right now, again, it's because the servers aren't reliable. There is nothing worse than playing a game with your buddies and servers go down, especially if you're in the middle of a boss fight. When the servers become more reliable, and the developers have been on that stuff. They've been very transparent, talking about what's happening with the game, what they're doing, and letting everybody know. So I applaud them for that. I really hope people aren't being complete and total dicks by sending them death threats, but I know they are. Everybody seems to think that's cool, and I don't think that is. It's garbage. They're doing what they can. I will blame Xbox Game Pass. I will totally blame that shit. I've been saying it ever since the servers went online, because I don't think that people can fly.
Look at some of the games that have ended up on those type of services, like Rocket League, Fall Guys, stuff like that weren't actually meant to be like put out on these type of services. And when they went out there, their launches were absolutely terrible because they weren't expecting the influx of people that putting it on services like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or something like that was going to bring to their service. And when that type of stuff happens, you need to sort of step back and go, hold on, okay, this is a game that wasn't designed for this type of server load. Now they're getting this server load, so obviously there's going to be issues. When you have a game like World of Warcraft that after 10 plus years still can't get a launch, they're still having server issues at launch of a game, then by all means rip the living shit out of the company. But again, keep it to the company.
Well, don't
go after individuals. That's wrong.
What I'm getting at is I don't think they realize how popular this game is going to be. And the cherry on top was adding the game to Xbox Game Pass day one. And you literally just pulled in a mass of people who were on the fence about this game, who didn't want to buy the game, wanted to wait it out, but are like, wait, I can play this game day one for literally free? Hell yes. And now your servers where you thought about, we might get 40,000, 50,000 people or getting double that amount, triple that amount. And the servers are dying. The hamsters are dying. They cannot keep up. So it penalizes everybody. And again, I'm not going to blame them. Say again?
Those poor hamsters, they get overworked.
I'm not gonna get mad at the developers for this. They did a great job. It's just when it comes to the end of the day, people don't think about how much it takes to run a game online. The authentication servers get hammered constantly. I think the only thing that they didn't do and they were asked about this, and they said they didn't think the game was going to be as popular. They didn't think the game was going to be popular to do it. Was not implementing dedicated servers. That would solve a lot of the problems, but they didn't think that it would be worth it. And I hope that's something they think about later on down the road. There's a game that was in the same position as this game right now that eventually they had to go back and rethink it because people were not playing the game anymore because they got frustrated. For Honor, I don't know if anybody remembers that game. It was the melee fighting game from Ubisoft that it was peer-to-peer. So when you get into a game and you're in a group and the host leaves, you lose all your progress. And people kept complaining. So Ubisoft had this, I think it was like a year roadmap where the last thing was they're going to add dedicated servers. And they did. And the game got an influx of people, and the game's been going nonstop still. The game got a new lease on life, so to speak, because the dedicated servers, when you say we were all playing and Carl was the host and Carl dropped, we still keep playing. Instead of us going, oh, you just lost that fight because he left. He rage quit or he just lost connectivity. I really think that Outriders, I really think that People Can Fly needs to go back and look at this, especially due to the start that this game has already. It has already surpassed Avengers. Not that that's Avengers is a great game, but it sold very well when it first came out. There was an influx of people playing the game, and it already surpassed that. I'm going to love to know what the numbers are for this game when they finally release them, because I know they did a lot of sales. I'm not going to beat I'm not going to broken record here because we got enough stuff to talk about, but it's a great game. It is suffering right now from a rough start. I do recommend it if you want to pick it up, but maybe check it out on Xbox Game Pass right now. I got my copy was sent to me by the company, so that's not me trying to blow smoke up your butt. I really think it's a great game. I play it as much as I can while I can. It feels that Destiny, Division 2, Gears of War, Lost Planet vibe. It is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I think once we play together online, you guys are also going to like it. It's a fun game. I just wish I could be an Outriders ambassador, but I'm not cool enough to be one.
Well, Keith, you'll have to deal with assholes like me who have, complaints about game design.
I deal with them all the time at work. What are you talking about?
No, see, that's your job. You be dealing with me on a personal. I was kidding. Like I said, when I saw a bunch of early act streamers besides Keith playing the game, I noticed there was some server issues and things about it, and I felt like, and I think I told you this personally, Keith, like this might be a problem because of if this is a soft touch and they're having these problems. Can you imagine what happened? And I think you mentioned this in our Discord that they put an Xbox Game Pass. What the fuck, like, oh my god, how many people are just gonna play the game because it's free?
Yeah, I keep saying it. I will say this until they come back and correct me that Xbox Game Pass is the sole reason why this is going down. If they all use the same authentication server, this is why the game is going down as much, because so many people are jumping in and playing it.
Yeah, I'm part of the problem. I installed it because it's on Game Pass.
See?
Yes.
I'm currently downloading it over here.
And that's no fault of Microsoft. It's a great move. It's a damn great move.
I actually said, again, because of the connections that we have around here, I actually said, I'm not playing this game until you guys have your server issues done, because I want to make sure that I get the best experience out of this game. But now that I've sort of had that rethink, I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot if the servers go down. I'm not going to get angry about it. But yeah, Xbox Game Pass is the only reason why I'm bothering to play it, to be honest.
And if you, Square Enix people or Nell, reconsider adding me as a ambassador, hey, I've been sitting here while people have been trying to play.
That bribe.
I'm just saying, I'm literally just saying, while people were sitting there complaining, I was doing benchmark videos and testing out settings and answering questions on Twitter and Reddit and Reset Error and helping people get their game running properly and put out a guide on how to get around the stuttering issue before People Can Fly put out a fix. I'm just saying.
You're doing the work, Keith. You're doing the work.
But I can't be an ambassador. But I'm putting in that work. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know, man. You don't have to be an ambassador. In my opinion, like, I come from fighting games. There are people who do great work who don't get recognized by the company, still get recognized by the community. So ambassadors get cool swag. And I want that cool swag. I want that shirt. That sounds superficial, my friend. It sounds like that's
I am superficial at times. Have you not seen the hat and the damn shirt?
I just feel no. That's just you selling out. It's two different things.
I think they're one and the same. But
okay, all right.
Let's move on. All right. So last week we talked about Sony possibly kicking off the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation Portable from the PlayStation Network. Now, thegamer.com broke this story. A lot of people gave them a lot of flack because they were writing about it, and a lot of people were like, no, this is not true. Sony came out and finally said, yes, we are removing these from the service. You can download the game that you own, but you won't be able to buy anything via the PlayStation website. Now, people have said that you still can buy the game through the actual hardware. But it is, I know for a fact, buying games off the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita sucked. I did not enjoy that.
Yeah.
It was not fun. So if they're going off the website now, how much longer do you think it's going to be before they go ahead and take it off the actual consoles themselves as well? But this leads to another conversation as in regards to game preservation. This removes a lot of games from access for people who still have a PlayStation 3. I mean, there are still plenty of games you can buy for these consoles, and they're great games. And Sony doesn't have a plan like Xbox does. Xbox has a whole backwards compatibility plan where you can play majority of those games now Xbox One and the Xbox Series. Sony has nothing. And for the longest time, Sony was an advocate of saying, who plays old games anyway?
I mean, this hurts really badly because, for myself, play fighting games, and, fighting game goes through cycles. There's sometimes a really old fighting game will pop up, people start playing. Keith, I don't know if you're around the internet, people will talk about Sailor Moon Fighter, for God's sakes. I mean, shout outs to my boy.
You see my face? There's a Sailor Moon fighting. I mean, of course there is.
There's exactly.
Of course,
shout out to my boy. Yeah, shout out to my boy, Andrew Greenberg, aka Dino, hooking me up with letting me know what that game is about. It's really fun. It's a good fighting game, but it's like cycles with that. Like something could just pop up from an old era and people start playing it again. But if there's no way to play it, we'll go back to the days of yo-ho Pirate Bay, And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that I honestly believe in my heart of hearts, you're just bringing back the age of piracy. And people were complaining about this for months, for years. Piracy is bad.
We had this conversation.
No, exactly. No, it makes me upset because we had this conversation. I believe it, but I was more like, oh, hey, you know what? No one's going to be this stupid. And then, here we are, 2021. Time to crank up the computer, piratebay.com. Time to get all your anime and anime and wrestling needs, and then maybe the video games later. I can't believe it's like, I really hope they make some kind of program or something, or some way to do, because it's like, I'm going to have to, right now, I'm going to look through my Vita and try to download everything I have and hope for the best.
That's what people are doing right now. They're downloading games they already own, and they're buying games before they can no longer buy them. I fully believe that Sony is going to cut those stores off completely.
Oh yeah. It's just like what's them call it? I think you guys probably heard this site or you tweet them, whatever. Or RPG website. Those nice lads over there. They've been making links and just pointing out every good RPG has been on the Vita and PS3. Just this is where you get them. This is how you download them. This is how you download it from the Japanese server because there's some games not released here. This is how you get them. Yeah. So just do it. And I'm like, oh man, that's horrible. No, dude, this is the only way. I support the freakouts because this is not good. This is not good. This is very bad.
The conversation regarding the game preservation needs to be had. I don't think Sony cares, to be 100% honest with you, because at the end of the day, they're not selling PlayStation 3s anymore. They're not selling PSPs anymore, and they're not selling Vitas anymore.
No.
So as far as I'm concerned, they don't care. They're not making any money off of this. Why keep a system that is no longer supported around? But I did read an article that there were some games still in development for the Vita that are now being canceled because they're doing this. They're like, well, we can't sell the game. What is the point? And
they got blindsided by that.
And it tells me that Sony is not talking to the people, the developers. Like, hey, we're doing this.
Let's call it for what it is. It's Sony of America with a very, I hate to say, American style mindset. Like the guy in charge has come out and says, "Oh, nobody plays retro games, and when they do, they look like crap."
That would be Jim Ryan.
But the PS Vita is still very much alive in international markets,
100%.
such as Asia and Japan and even Europe. The Vita is still going very strong, having games released almost monthly. because there's so many other developers out there that found great uses for the system as like RPGs and light novels, or what are the not light novels, visual novel games and stuff like that.
I'm just glad that one of the best Vita games ever made is now available on PC. Go buy that.
Yeah, Persona 4 Golden, baby. Woo!
But it's one of those things. It's like it's working international markets, but just because it's not selling or the games aren't available in the American market, it's just, we're going to shut it down because it's not doing anything. Like, I can understand shutting the PSP down. The PSP was probably one of the biggest blunders that Sony put out because it got cracked so easily and quickly.
And yet it had a Gran Turismo game.
Yeah, and they put a lot of stock into the system, but it got cracked so easily to the point where piracy on that thing was just too much.
Would you say it was on par or worse than the Dreamcast? That got cracked.
I would say it would be on par easily. But like this whole thing, again, it comes down to one guy who's in control of the company making a move based on his personal beliefs, not looking at the international data, and realizing that their console is still very profitable in other markets outside of the US.
100%. And Carl, not to cut you off, it shows, as you mentioned, the Sony America guy. It's like the one thing I hate, I guess everyone here, because we're all American except for Carl, he's living his great life down under.
I classify as an alien, not an American.
All right, watch you get deported for that.
Probably gonna happen anyway.
When it comes to like thinking of profits, and Cam, you can probably talk about this because he probably knows, like they're just so short, goddamn sighted. It's like let's just what about tomorrow? You know, who cares? Let's just make the monies today. It's like, bro, I personally understand terminating a console. It's out of print, blah blah blah. This is gaming, it happens. But if you terminate the facilities with it, doesn't it feel even worse because I don't own the facilities to do it? Like, don't I have ownership of it? And we could go to a 5-hour conversation. But yeah, Cam, what's the point? If you terminate the digital store and the console, then what did I do? What do you do?
I mean, essentially, it's just being very out of touch with the community and like what the community is doing. I mean, if you think about what Carl was talking about when he was talking about the games that he's playing, he played multiple like retro games from at this point, multiple decades ago, and yeah,
mostly from the PS3 era.
What's that?
Mostly from the PS3 era.
Yeah, see, exactly. So there is like a market for these games, and you know, whether you're someone who's played these games or played them in your childhood, or even just you want to introduce someone, or you recommend like something from this one of these eras to somebody, they're not going to be able to get those games unless they're jumping on them now.
Yep.
I saw that someone pointed out that there's going to be like there's multiple versions of Persona 3 that are not going to be available. That's one of the games that are just kind of disappearing, essentially, just into the ether.
I mean, hell,
yeah.
Can you imagine trying to find the OG Persona 1 and 2s? Can you imagine that from PlayStation 1? Can you imagine that?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with the other series. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just, and then you have like what Xbox is doing, like they're doing like a really good job, and like a lot of that stuff is just on Game Pass as well, and obviously like it's not perfect, but it has its issues, but they're still making those like a lot of those games accessible to people, and just not getting rid of them. It's like, the Xbox has been out of circulation for years, and so is the 360. But a lot of those games are still available. I often go back to like older games just for the hell of it because I'm feeling it. I was like, I was playing Black the other day.
That is
just
a
for the hell
game.
of it.
I wish
That's
that game got a remake. Yeah, that game needs to get a remake.
Damn.
Original Xbox. Yeah, I was like, this game's just like just dumb fun, just blow shit up and just like have a good time, and like I feel like I can speak for like all of us here. Like we'll very likely see a bunch of old games right there. All of us will very likely go back to revisit some games, whether on any platform. And the fact that we're not going to have this vast array of Sony titles that are just going to be more or less wiped from existence, at least from legal measures.
Yeah,
it's just like it's really upsetting that like they're kind of disappearing, and just like all of this history is sort of like gone essentially. And I
Yeah.
think there does have
They
to be
have
some
to
sort of
do something
preservation
about
for
that.
that.
They need to be kicked in their asses and realize what they're doing is wrong, and they're
by the way,
hurting themselves.
And by the way, I'm also advocating, because Game Pass, because I don't mind paying a service to own all the games again. Like it's something like $10 a month, whatever. I don't mind that.
Yeah,
Like,
why would you? It's great.
Exactly. It's great. I don't mind it. It's pretty good. But it's like, to me, it's like I'm an RPG nut, and when I talk to people, it's like, yo, man, have you guys ever played Breath of Fire? They look at me, what are you talking about? What about Song of Luna? I'm like, what? Exactly, because it's just out of existence. So it's like I sound like a crazy man talking about things like this. But seriously, we need Breath of Fire 5 when it comes out. Comments on you.
But that's the whole thing. It's like a lot of these games. I'm currently looking at the piles upon piles of PS3 games I have sitting next to my computer here, and it's like there's stuff here that has not been reproduced on more modern systems. The Darkness 1 and 2, absolutely love those first-person games. Love the comic books as well. Chef kiss. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, as much as the second one was an abysmal piece of shit.
Yeah, the first one was great.
They were like decent games. Dante's Inferno, the Tekken Tag tournaments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shit. What else have I got sitting here? The original Assassin's Creed trilogy, 1, 2, Brotherhood, and 3. So technically 4-piece. Those aren't reproduced on modern systems. So the only way to get them is either you buy them now while the market is still small, or you're going to risk on losing out. And you might have to, you might be able to get them on, say, PC or something like that, but they were originally designed for console. So you want that proper console experience. And as I've mentioned before, I'm a very big retro collector. I go through it. I'm buying all the old consoles and finding ways to keep them usable in the modern age. And I found there is nothing like going back and picking up the proper controller on the proper console using the proper hardware and playing these games. Emulation that helps preserve everything, it's not the best way to play it. And especially now, leading up to the PS2 era, we've had some pretty decent emulation. PS3 era onwards, PlayStation 3, Xbox era onwards, the emulation isn't all that great.
No.
And then you've got disc sizes. A lot of these discs run anywhere from I've got versions that are 4 gig, 6 gig, anywhere up to 25 gig in size. So archiving these is going to be a problem as well.
Yeah.
So the only way you're going to be able to get a lot of these games now is if you go out to second-hand markets and buy them like crazy, and all that's going to do is push the second-hand market price up. Like that, like you said, going back to the original PlayStation 1, try and get the original Persona.
Yeah.
You're going to be dropping hundreds of dollars on that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's going to be the PS3 in a couple of years.
All right,
No,
so
yeah,
you want to pick up a copy of Tekken 6 on the PS3? Oh, prepare to be shelling out $80
No, 100%.
Why? Because it's fucking rare.
all right, but
No,
so
100%.
since we've all basically stated that we don't agree with the decision. If Sony was to come out and ask you what they should do to fix this, what would your recommendation be? How can they resolve this?
My recommendation
as they are.
Yeah.
Leave the service available because all they're really taking offline is the store page. Well, the store pages or the ability to buy. They're basically modifying their code by a couple of lines. It's not costing them extra server space. It's not costing them money to keep this stuff here. They're going to have to keep it there anyway because they've said you're going to be allowed to download what you've already bought. So they cannot delete the content at this point. So they might as well just keep it there and keep it readily available for people who want to buy it. Maybe look at dropping instead of there's still some games on the PS3 stores. They're still full price to this day.
Yeah.
Drop that. Turn that stuff into maybe $10-$20 or something like that for a game, regardless of what it is. It becomes $5-$10 on a sale or whatever. Keep the prices low now that you're not going to be making as much money out of it. So drop your prices low, so that way people are still incentivized to buy the stuff for preservation's sake. Or you're going to have people who are doing exactly like I've already done, and I'll admit this straight up. As soon as I heard the rumors of what was going to happen, I jailbroke one of my PS3s. Why? Because all of a sudden there's a whole heap of games that I'm still trying to collect that are going to jump up in price on the secondhand market. And either they're still overpriced on the PS3 network, or they're just unavailable. You want to try getting the remake of NBA Jam nowadays? Ha! Secondhand market only. You know, it's really one of those things where Sony needs to realize there's still a market for this stuff, especially like the PS Vita in like other countries, and work with it. Don't be afraid to sort of say, hey, we have a past, and yes, we want to support it. I'm not saying they need to turn around on a PS5 and have backwards compatibility all the way back to the PS1.
I am totally.
I would love that. Yeah.
Well, that'd be absolutely brilliant.
That's
we all agree that would be perfect. But even working some sort of system, like you said, like an Xbox Game Pass, where you have access to all of this type of stuff. As all of us have already said and agreed, we would absolutely pay $5, $10, $15 a month or something for this type of service that gives us access to a whole heap of the back catalog.
Right.
And no, PlayStation Now is not fucking it, because I'm still waiting for the goddamn motherfucker to come out here in Australia.
Yeah, I was going to say that I want them. So this is a very grand and very long process that they need to do. But basically, do what Xbox has done. They should have been doing it. The moment they saw what Xbox was doing with the backwards compatibility, they should have been going, you know what? Maybe they're on to something. Maybe we should do something. Because PlayStation Now is trash. The only reason they made it the fact that you can actually download games is because they saw what Xbox was doing, and they realized streaming wasn't working. So they changed that up, and you can download the games, but they need to go back to PlayStation 1. PlayStation has made gaming history by coming from nowhere, kicking almost everybody's ass, and releasing some of the best games ever made. And a lot of people can't get access to them anymore. Unless you have original PlayStation, the PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 3, you're not going to experience these games. And that's a problem. There are so many games I can't play right now because I had a PlayStation, and I think I let my friend borrow it, and it disappeared. In fact, he borrowed my one and my two. And I never saw him again, or those, or the games. But I know it's going to cost me an arm and a leg to find a PlayStation 1 and 2 that is in good condition, with a good laser, and the games again. Why is it so hard for Sony to go? Go ahead.
And that's one of the big problems as well, is finding these consoles to begin with. They are starting to become rarer as time rolls on. These things have become worn down and almost inoperable. You know, you try finding a laser array for a PlayStation 1 nowadays, and it's going to cost you about as much as the console did when it originally launched, because the parts are becoming rarer, and they break down over time. But luckily, and again, you know, piracy seems to take over where the company fails. PlayStation 1 has a digital reader that you can take out the CD drive, replace it with an SD card reader. The PlayStation 2, if you get the big fat boy, like not the slims, the original fat boy, you can put a 1 terabyte hard drive in that and run your games off a hard drive. You know, PS3, now you run a jailbreak.
I'm actually looking at that right now that you just mentioned that. Yeah, they have where you can mount an SD card in there. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've got an SD card reader in my Dreamcast. I plan on putting one in the Sega Saturn when I finally.
And they want $400 for this. $400.
Oh, you can get knockoff clones for like under $100. They're fine. But the PS1 digital stuff, like, but that thing is also hard to do because you need to know soldering. You need to know how the boards work. You need to know specific pins and everything to line everything up with. It is hard to install that little device. So your main thing is trying to get a hold of a PlayStation 1 that doesn't have a blown CD reader, then you have to buy the original games. The original games are becoming expensive as hell. Like, to give you an idea,
Well, why are you doing that?
Mortal Kombat 4. Okay, not the greatest game on the planet. You want to take a guess at how much this cost me?
$50.
Bingo.
Hey!
Hey.
$50 Australian for this. And that's only because I got it at a steal. I've seen this thing going for nearly $200 Australian because of how rare these are becoming. So
I would kill to play Ridge Racer Type 4 right about now.
Ridge Racer Type 4, if you wanted to try that, you're going to be dropping probably about $100 to $150.
That was one of my favorite racing games of all time. I loved that game.
And that's the thing with all of this. Like, the secondhand market is going to explode as people start hoarding these games. And it's going to be so unfair to anybody of later generations who want to play these things. This is why I personally go down the routes of modification and pretty much piracy in order to play these games that I have. Like, sure, I do have, I do have, like, Super Mario Kart's, the actual cartridge. But I have a EverDrive for my Super Nintendo that has all the games on it. Why? Because if I want to buy a Super Nintendo game now, I'm easily forking out 80 to 100 Australian dollars, no matter what the game is. If I want to buy something from the NES era, the original Super Mario Brothers, I've seen that going 50 to 80 Australian dollars. And the price is just going up as people are collecting. So eventually, you're going to have something that might not have been all that great, like this, going for 50, 80, 100 plus dollars. Why? Because it's rare and you can't get it anymore.
I don't doubt it. Hey, look what Nintendo just did. That Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Yeah, look at that.
I hate that business practice, man. I really do.
Yeah, I'm about to throw mine on eBay for $15,000 if anybody wants to buy it. But like, that's the thing. Even Nintendo, to a degree, even has some sort of access to their archives. They've been doing that they did that with the Wii, where you could buy the Super Nintendo and Nintendo games on that, and then the Wii U, and now they've done it on the Switch as a part of the online pass. I don't see why Sony can't work something like that. If you're getting PS Plus, why can't you have access to a PS3 game every month, or a couple of PS3 games as a part of your thing like they used to?
They don't have the foresight. They don't think. They don't think that people want to play older games, and that is dangerous thinking. That is dangerous thinking.
Yeah, there's a market for it.
There's a huge market.
I used to work at a retro video game store like not long ago, and they did like really big business, and like it was just like a local store, but like people were always in there buying up, because we had things there from like as far back as like Atari, and like we had all kinds of stuff, and like people were always buying up all the classic PS1 stuff, all PS2, PS3, like Vita stuff that like is even more or less out of circulation. There's a market for all of that, and people want to be able to have access to that, and there are collectors who are going to be like not able to access a lot of these things, and then people who just want to play them aren't going to have access to them, and it's just a very just stupid decision, honestly, and like it kind of reads like a decision made by people who just don't understand.
Yeah, definitely.
It seems like they just don't understand the market, and just, like, we want people to play new stuff, and it should exist. Like, it should, like, these things shouldn't just like cease to exist because some executive thinks like, oh, no one wants to play this. People want to play the shiny games with the good graphics, and like, yeah, those are cool, those are great. Everyone loves that, but like there is like something nice about going back and revisiting something. Like, I'm literally wearing a Dino Crisis shirt. Like, so they're like, there's a market for like older games that whether they're niche or not, people will want access to them. And doing this is just honestly just harming
By the way,
market is-
Dino Crisis HD remake, Capcom, hurry the fuck up.
Yeah,
I'm
if you're
there,
hearing,
yeah.
Capcom,
They're
please-
too busy working on
please-
Resident Evil. All the Resident Evils.
And
The
promising
fucking
balance.
Resident Evil 4 remake. Why? Hey, why?
I mean, just getting back to it, and we can bounce. But if they don't think that retro gaming is not a big market, they're seriously out of touch with the gaming community.
Yeah.
Even just look what happened a couple days ago. There was a couple days ago, an unopened copy of Super Mario, but NES sold for $600,000.
Crazy.
I wish I had an unopened copy of that game sitting in my attic or somewhere. $600,000 for that game? Are you crazy? That is ridiculous.
That's because that was a fourth round production run, which was a very small run, had small differentiations in the casing and everything else. Yeah, I looked over that article. I'm like, wow, yeah, this is. But your general Mario, like even the sealed copies, not overly expensive. That 150 maybe. You're not going to get $100,000 for like just the one you picked up off the shelf in Toys R Us back in the day or something.
Well, it just goes to show that there is a market for retro gaming. PlayStation needs to rethink what they're doing. They need to go back, get all these games onto PlayStation.
Do we even need to mention the speedrunning community and games done quick and stuff like that, which are huge in the retro gaming community, and people are still discovering, and that's the other thing. There's still discoveries being made from older games, like would we have ever seen a translated version of Mother 3 at any time?
Not until we beg more about it, but yeah, no.
There was a group recently who found 700 prototypes, demos, E3 production discs from the PlayStation 2 era. We are still finding stuff in that's archival, that's history, that is still needing to be preserved. And if we take away the methods in which these things are produced, then we can't archive it. And if we're just waiting for a company to do it, obviously Sony's not going to do it. So it's up to people to have to archive it.
I will say, like, even like obviously to a much lesser degree than like Microsoft and Xbox, even Nintendo does kind of understand that, because on their Switch Online, they do give you access to a very small selection, but it's still there. Like they give you that if you have Switch Online. And again, that has its problems. That's a whole other can of worms. But even Nintendo, who is just historically just like does stupid things and makes really bad choices, even they're like, hey, we want to give you guys access to these retro games that like you can't, you more or less won't be very difficult to find some of these. Other ones, are obviously easier to find. But even they are like, yeah, like check these old games out. But it's just weird that Sony like is just not, playing ball with like, anyone else, or just taking the example from Xbox.
It's a damn shame. Is what it is. It's a damn shame.
No, I know. It just feels really weird because it's like they have an extensive library as large as it's a very large game library. And it's like, oh, let's not do that. And Cam, you mentioned you worked at a retro game store and you haven't hooked a brother up with Project Justice. I'm trying to live my rival school dreams here.
Oh my god.
I have to give my buddies over there a call and see what they got.
See what they got. All right, they finally get a hookup. Okay, we'll finally live my 90.
Man, if I could find a copy of Zero David, I'd be happy. Even if I can't play it. Does anybody remember that game? I love that game.
Sounds familiar.
It was like a virtual fighter with robots on the PlayStation. I loved it. Loved it.
Sounds cool. I like robots.
Yeah, chicks dig giant robots.
Except for Shinji.
No,
he's a girl. He's a punk.
He's just getting a robot, and he couldn't do that.
Stop. I need to bring that up. Who did see Godzilla versus Kong?
I did.
Remember the part where what was it? What was the exact word? What the hell was it? God, I can't remember now. I can't remember. Somebody said getting to something, and I automatically thought about Shinji.
When they were trying to do the thing.
Yeah.
To control the, I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, it was like getting a robot. You get it. Yeah, and I was like, Shinji, hey, look.
Yeah.
That kid ruined everything. He only had to do was get in a robot, and he couldn't even do
Get
that.
the goddamn robot, Shinji.
Here's
That's
the
all you had to
goddamn
do, man.
That's all he had to do, and he ruined it for the rest of us.
Get inside your mom, man.
His such the lore. Hideki man. Oh,
That was
God.
so.
Oh man,
Oh, boy.
Hideki's a man.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Yeah, Sony, you're doing a bad job about preservating your history. Great games. You're missing out on introducing these games to newer gamers, older gamers. Ridge Racer. All the shoot 'em ups are on there. The first couple Tekkens. The first couple King of Fighters.
First, oh my God.
To Shinden.
Oh, Yoshi Shinden, yeah, God. There's so many RPGs. The Suikoden series.
Yeah.
What was the Square Enix sword game? Not Last Blade.
Warrior Fencer?
No.
It was Square Enix RPG came out long after.
Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so many great games. So many fantastic games.
Yeah.
You need to preserve these games. You need to get off your butt. Get these games on the PlayStation Store for other consoles, or fix your busted PlayStation now because it's garbage. I
agree. That's about it.
I'm done. Or people are gonna pirate your shit.
Which you kind of you made the machine, man. All you had to do was just keep the stores up, or just include it with every. Let's say I buy a PS5 and there's a section for PS4 games only, PS3 games, PS2. Make it easy for the user who's down for that. There's probably people out there who bought the new console just to play their own games. There's guys like I know who play fighting games who only bought a console so they can just play their fighting games. So come on.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move on to E3 2021, which has finally said that they will have an online. Oh God, there goes Carl. They'll have an online digital version of the event. And originally, the reports were that they were going to charge for this. They came out and said, "No, we're not going to do this, and we're just going to have a digital online event, adding to the other ones that we're having this year already." Do you think we need an online E3?
There's no other option. I'm being serious. There's no other option, then sure.
Carl, what do you think about that, buddy? I think you said you agree to that. Yes? We need it? I don't know what that means. Is that Australian for yes?
No. That's a no. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of online conventions. I'm sick of it. I understand that, again, being Australian, and a lot of the times I'm having to watch a lot of stuff online anyway, but we don't need everything to go online anymore. Sure, if E3 stops what we had last year with IGN and GameSpot being exclusive to X company and Y company, sure, no problems. Put it all in one place again. Schedules, let's all run properly like it was back in the old days with E3, where you jump on and you could see the news conferences or something. No problems with that whatsoever. But it's I'm so sick. For things like gaming, it's okay, but I am sick of it because there's no production involved. Last year showed us it was basically like watching us. If we were all game developers. Hi, I'm Carl, and I'm here to bring out this game today that I've been working months. Shit, fucking Scott.
Oh God, Scott fell.
But it was one of those it's like, hey, I'm here in my office. If we get another round of that, I'm sorry, I'm gonna I don't know, I'll stab myself with a screwdriver. I don't bloody know.
Not on camera, right? Yeah. Not on camera.
I never thought that I would miss the days of just unnecessary musical guests.
Oh my God.
I was like, I guess I want to see Usher playing Just Dance on stage. Maybe. Will I ever see that again? No.
I miss the days. I miss the days of digital developers overblown, over the top. What the fuckery that was their presentation. You know, I
miss those days as well.
I miss
Oh my
Nintendo coming out and going, "Hey, this is Shigeru Miyamoto. He's gonna come play Wii music or something."
Yeah.
like
Oh Lord, please.
Those
You know,
demos.
I miss, like I miss the stupid pageantry that would come with the game, with like getting these games out. And if all we're gonna get is another year of people staring into their webcams, it's not worth it. But if you're going to actually go to the effort of these companies having to actually put on a proper actual presentation, sure, okay, move E3 online, put it all in one place, great, no problems. But it doesn't mean every other convention on the planet has to do this. Okay, anime conventions, fuck off. You know, any of these companies who are going online with their conventions that isn't just purely like gaming, stop. Put yourself off for another year. Wait until everything's getting back closer to normal, and then actually have a convention. Like I'm happy this year because PAX Australia is actually going to be an actual event.
Well,
I get to walk into a convention hall.
They did say they're not sure because they made.
No, it is going. No. PAX Australia is going ahead because Australia is in a position where COVID is not so much of a problem that we can actually hold an actual event in a proper convention center where people can interact with these things. And yes, PAX East said that they're going online. However, the guys in charge of PAX Australia have said and stated that what happens in the US is not going to affect what happens in Australia. So Australia gets to have an actual event this year.
I hope for your sake it does continue.
I'm happy. I'm happy for this. But again, it's like, unless you are something like E3, which was primarily done as an information session about upcoming games, don't bother. Like
E3 should not be online. They should just cancel it again. It is not. As being somebody who went to E3, having it online is not the same thing. It is not the same thing. I don't want to see this.
The interaction portion where you get to line up and actually play the games, yes, that is the main reason you go to the conventions.
Hell, PAX online is garbage.
But from somebody like me who only gets to see this stuff from a very far distance, I tune in for the press announcements, the presentations, you know, Microsoft, Sony, and that going, hey, here's our big slate for the next 12 months. That doesn't change for me being an online service. But I can understand the interactive nature is what a lot of people are going to say, hey, no, we don't need it. Which I totally agree with, because there's no way to emulate that nature except actually was it Digital Devolver or who was it?
Digital Devolver, yeah.
Yeah, they had that little interactive presentation VR room thing. Like, great idea. I reckon more companies should be doing that if they're going to go this route. But again, it's one of those things of presentations. If you're doing presentations, actually do proper presentations and make them like worth doing. But if you're just going to be sitting here going presentation of game, no, fuck that noise.
That's the problem, because what's the difference between this and Summer Games Fest and whatever else everybody and their mom is doing? Nothing. They end up being the same damn thing. There's no interaction. It's everybody sitting behind their webcam, talking about their games, showing video footage. Maybe they'll have access to a couple of demos, and that's it. So you're literally doing the same thing that other people have done. There's no draw to it whatsoever other than different dates. That's boring. We saw enough of this last year, and most of us were in agreement that it was a waste of time. So for them to go and do this now, it's like,
well, I think this is the thing. It might not be so much more of like the interactive side of it and everything else. I think this is what I'm looking at, which is the presentation side of things, and bring it all back under that one very controlled banner. Like, as we saw with the replacements that we got last year, they were all over the place.
They were.
And you had to go to different websites to find different companies and everything else. having it all come back under the E3 banner and being, okay, you want to see all this? Come to E3.com.
Not going to work.
From a presentation standpoint, that works better than what we had last year.
No, it might work better.
Organizational wise, it is
might
a
work better
idea.
But it's not happening. Nintendo's already said they're not impressed. Xbox
Nintendo haven't been a part of it for the last 5 years. Who gives a shit?
No,
Fuck
they've
'em.
been there. They have been there. They've been on the floor. Yeah, they have.
Well, they might be on the floor, but they don't.
About.
But they don't do anything else involved with the thing. They always do their own thing online.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. When I went to E3 in 2017, they were on the floor. But that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, Keith, take the interactive portion out of the entire conversation because it's a non-relevant factor.
But no, that's what I'm trying to get at.
You're looking really on the presentation side of things, and if Nintendo doesn't show up the presentation side of things, fine. Who cares? They do their own thing after.
No, wait. That's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at. Nintendo's not interested. Sony's doing their own thing. Microsoft's doing their own thing. A lot of people that dealt with E3 were doing it because Jeff Keighley was there to help organize a lot of the shit. He's already said he's not going back to them. He's going to keep doing his own thing. So a lot of the draw has already been pulled from them. People that may have been under the E3 banner traditionally don't care. That's a problem. And Jeff Keighley, his events have been doing great. And every year he's doing more and more and more. And every year he pulls away from E3. So that's my problem.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley's events have been doing really great. Last of Us Part 2 wins. Wait, what? Sorry.
Oh, God. Here we go. Let's not do that one.
Hey, that was all his events last year, man. Was The Last of Us 2, 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 Last of Us 2.
Everybody had a problem with that.
Hell, even at the one he did, what was the one that we had a couple of weeks ago or something where he had all the world premieres or something? He was still going on about Last of Us 2.
You know, I've yet to play that game, even though I own it. I just got tired of people talking about it.
I haven't even bought it. I'm waiting for it to go to like $10 before I even consider it.
It'll eventually come on PlayStation Plus. You wait and see.
I already beaten it twice, so that's it's like a 7.5 out of 10. I give it as a game. Being serious, yep.
But I'm just going to say I don't have any reason to watch an online E3 event. I fail to see what's going to be any different from this than everything else we've already seen or will see. That's just me. Just like I have no drive to see it PAX online. PAX is all about interaction. All about interaction. So I don't know how this is going to work out.
You need to now that you're immunized, you should fly over here and come and join me in October.
It'll cost too much. It'll cost too much to fly over there. I can't see myself being on a plane for how many hours to get over there?
About 18 hours.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was spazzing out when I had to fly from here to California. I did not like that flight.
Just take some sleeping pills or some melatonin or something. You'll be all right.
I was like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Can we hurry up and land? I don't want to be on this damn plane. I don't like flying.
Well, you can always do a 24-hour trip and have multiple stopovers.
That's possible. I just don't like flying.
Plus, your wife wants to come down here. I know your wife wants to come down.
My wife wants to go everywhere but here. I don't blame her either.
Ain't that the dream?
All right. Anybody else have any thoughts about this one? I think Carl and I did most of the talking for this one.
I mean, it's E3. I don't care anymore. They just whatever. All I look for is, are you making the games I'm looking for? Otherwise, I don't care. The company I know is not going to be there. I'm not going to care. That's literally what it is. They have to work for it.
I mean, E3 has kind of just tapered off over the years, even before COVID. I understand why it has to be the way it is, but it doesn't necessarily it still doesn't feel necessary, just based off of everything else that we have going on. Like you guys said, the big three more or less aren't going to be there. So what do they have? And I do agree with Carl in the sense that they do need to do better with just presentation. Just having people just looking like us is I have X game coming out on X console on this date. And I'm not saying it has to be just a huge extravaganza, but just have something better going on.
Put some effort.
Yeah, as weird as it was, like I don't think it was perfect. DC Fandom was fun. I was like, I watched that. I was
Oh
like,
yeah, that was a decent event. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fine. Like it was serviceable. I didn't hate it. Like they had some stuff going on there, but it's not like it's impossible and like it's not like E3 is like strapped for cash. Like they can afford to like do something a little fancier.
Like all these companies, like if they want to do presentations, that's fine. Put some effort into it. Cool. The other thing, you really want to start getting people really to take notice, let's go back to the old days of demos. Turn around and go, hey, I'm from Microsoft. We've just announced all these games. We have demos for ABCD, AFT, We have like 25 demos that we're going to drop onto the Xbox Live service that's available for the next month, and you get to play the demos that way, But nobody likes doing any demos these days, which is sad.
I will give the stores the Steam did a good job with giving us a lot of demos. That was good.
Steam
I like
Game
that.
Fest, yeah.
Yeah, but like getting something like that, if you want to bring the interactivity into these type of online services, then you're going to have to go back to the days of demos or something where people can have a chance to play the actual product themselves. But of course, they're more worried about piracy, so they won't bother doing it. Which leaves, they're going to have to put some effort into the presentation thing, or else people are just going to get bored and tune out. For a lot of these conventions, when they went online last year, their attendance or their buy rates or ticket sales or whatever were barely half of what they were getting when they ran an actual convention. Why? Because people don't want to sit at their computer for hours and just watch something. They want to interact. They want to do stuff. That's what a convention is all about. But, as we say this, we're doing a podcast where we're all staring into our webcams like this.
For those of you listening to the podcast, we're staring into the space. We're looking at each other going, hands in the air. Oh, well, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember gaming events just like I remember LAN parties. Remember those things?
Oh, my God.
Those things.
Like LAN parties, so good. Also, another reason why I've kept my PS3 is because you can do LAN sessions with the goddamn console. Hey, I was doing LAN sessions of Gundam vs. Gundam Full Boost the other day. Oh,
good game.
So good.
Oh, well. All right, guys. Well, we've reached the end of the show. Is there anything anybody else want to talk about before we get out of here? I am done. Actually, I think I'm just going to crash. I'm going to go to bed.
Rest in peace, Mario. May your game live in infamy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, final memes. Where's God? That's about it. I'm out. Let me just dab out of here. Call it a day.
I saw a couple articles this week that people were thinking that Mario was dead. That was crazy.
Just remember to put your copies of Super Mario 3D All Stars online for like $65,000.
Yeah,
and also your Game and Watch, your Mario Game and Watches as well for like $200,000 or something like that.
That's a bit.
And also, don't worry about the. Hey, I saw the Mario edition of the console with Mario 3D All Stars put up for something like $50,000.
I legit bought 2 copies of that game when they were like, it's done, because I knew that this crap was going to happen.
Yeah, it was inevitable.
Sell, Keith, sell. Make you that money, man.
I am going to sell one. I'm keeping the other one, but I am definitely going to sell one. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I'm going to take advantage of this.
Keith is going to just show up in like a
$15,000.
Sold this thing for $20,000. Some sucker bought it. Sucker.
Yeah, but just like
Keith's finally getting that games. He's finally got finished those renovations downstairs in the basement with the $15,000 he can get for the game.
You know what? I totally would. I make the biggest mistake in my life by letting them use that. I should just go downstairs, wall the rest of that space, and put a door in there. Like, no, my room. Stay the hell out. Totally should do that.
Get you that arcade cabinet, man.
Oh, man.
We all agree that just Nintendo, which is being Nintendo, just making weird decisions. They did the same thing. It was another game they took off. It was Fire Emblem as well.
Final Fate, yeah, which was overpriced in my opinion because blah blah blah. But Nintendo is going to do what they do, and people don't want to hear say it. They will squeeze blood from the stone. They're the best at that. They are the best at squeezing that stone blood and making people just pay for those trinkles. They're just good at it.
Hey man, where's my Zelda collection? Zelda 1, 2,
Yeah, Link to the Past, yeah.
You ain't never getting that. You ain't
you'll
never
get that.
getting that.
You'll get it for a month.
Sweet price of $80 revealed on April Fools for 1 hour. Go.
You
I'm
have
not joking.
35 seconds to buy this.
20, yeah, exactly. Server's down. Good luck, everybody.
Just like that manufactured, like that false exclusivity is just so weird. It's just no point.
I hate that. I hate that. I really do hate that so much. But yeah, Keith, free us, my friend, so we can go enjoy our evenings. Free us.
All right, Matt says end the show. So once again, everybody, thanks for checking out Spectator Mode Podcast. As always, you can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, anywhere podcasts are. You can also check us out on YouTube, which will be up there once it finishes encoding. For myself, from Matt, from Cam, and from Carl, who said I forgot him last week. From Carl again, because I forgot him last week. And Carl again, just for good measures, just to make sure I don't forget him. Thanks for checking out Spectator Mode episode 92. Matt, say goodnight.
What? No. F out of here. Good morning. Get out.
You got a half an hour before midnight. Come on, man.
All right, I'll be polite. Good evening, you degenerates. All right, I'm out of here.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.